Donald Trump is already trying to chicken out of the so far only actually scheduled presidential debate, which of course is supposed to take place on ABC News on September 10th. And he claims in a post on Truth Social over the weekend that the reason he wants to back out of this is, of course, because, by God, ABC News is just so biased and one-sided that, he's not going to get a fair shake. Here is what Donald Trump posted on Truth Social on Sunday. I watched ABC fake news this morning. Both lightweight reporter Jonathan Karl's ridiculous and biased interview of Tom Cotton, who was fantastic, and their so-called panel of Trump haters, and I ask, why would I do the debate against Kamala Harris on that network? Will panelist Donna Brazile give the questions to the Marxist candidate like she did for crooked Hillary Clinton? Will Kamala's best friend who heads up ABC do likewise? Where is little George Slopadopoulos hanging out right now? Will he be involved? They've got a lot of questions to answer. Why did Harris turn down Fox, NBC, CBS, and even CNN? Stay tuned. So because, as Trump says, they did a biased interview against Tom Cotton, even though, as Trump admits, Cotton was fantastic, you really can't have both, but okay, whatever. He wants to back out of the debate. Now, he's wanted to back out of the debate since the beginning. He never wanted to agree to it in the first place. He is terrified of going up against Kamala Harris on the national stage. He doesn't want it to happen. But this is just an excuse. This is just the public face. He's trying to say that when I back out of it, it's because ABC News is terrible to Republicans. But what's really happening is a little bit of drama behind the scenes. You see, when President Biden had originally agreed to do these two debates with Donald Trump, the first on CNN, the second on ABC, they had an agreement on the CNN debate that when the candidate was not speaking, their mic would be muted in order to prevent any interruptions from the other people. Now that it's Harris, those previously agreed to conditions no longer hold because it's a different person who has different ideas about what should happen. So Harris's campaign now wants the mics to not be muted. They want to allow Donald Trump to try to interrupt Harris. They want him to cause a scene. They want him to make an ass of himself, to be perfectly honest with you. And by the way, for the first CNN debate, Trump's people were furious that the mics were going to be muted. They wanted them to be open. Biden's the one who wanted them closed. But there has been ongoing drama behind the scenes with the two campaigns, according to 4 sources who spoke to the press anonymously about this. And they can't come to an agreement on whether to leave the mics hot or to mute them. I agree with Harris for very obvious reasons. I think if Donald Trump wants to make an ass out of himself on national television, nobody should be able to stop him. Let him do it. But here's the statement that the Harris campaign put out about it. We have told ABC and other networks seeking to host a possible October debate that we believe both candidates' mics should be live throughout the full broadcast, Brian Fallon, the Harris's campaign senior advisor for communications, told Politico Playbook in a text message. Our understanding is that Trump's handlers prefer the muted microphone because they don't think their candidate can act presidential for 90 minutes on his own. We suspect Trump's team has not even told their boss about this dispute because it would be too embarrassing to admit that they don't think he can handle himself against Vice President Harris without the benefit of a mute button. And then Trump's people came out and said this. Enough with the games. We accepted the ABC debate under the exact terms as the CNN debate. The Harris camp, after having already agreed to the CNN rules, asked for a seated debate with notes and opening statements. We said no changes to the agreed upon rules, Jason Miller, senior advisor for Trump, told Politico. If Kamala Harris isn't smart enough to repeat the messaging points her handlers want her to memorize, that's their problem. This seems to be a pattern for the Harris campaign. They won't allow Harris to do interviews. They won't allow her to do press conferences. And now they want to give her a cheat sheet for the debate. My guess is that they're looking for a way to get out of any debate with President Trump. He says, as Donald Trump posts on Truth Social, that he wants out of the debate because ABC News is biased. So 2 conflicting messages, obviously, from the Trump campaign there, those coming from Trump himself and those coming from the campaign handlers. But as Politico points out, those debates were agreed to by a different person. The rules for the CNN debate were never agreed to by Harris's campaign. They happened when Biden was still the candidate. Trump himself has sought additional debates with rules different from the CNN standard, including proposing a Fox News hosted debate on September 4th with a full arena audience, as Trump posted on Truth Social earlier this month. In 2020, the Trump campaign wanted mics to remain on during the whole debate. It is our understanding that you will soon be holding an internal meeting to discuss other possible rule changes, such as granting an unnamed person the ability to shut off a candidate's microphone. Trump's then campaign manager, Bill Stepien, said, "It is completely unacceptable for anyone to wield such power. This is reminiscent of the first debate in 2016 when the president's microphone was oscillated, and it is not acceptable." So sounds like you're all just a bunch of crybabies, right? I mean, that's what's going on here. The Trump campaign is filled with crybabies, including the big crybaby in chief himself, Donald Trump. They can't agree on anything. Oh, we don't want him to talk because he's going to do something stupid. Yeah, he's going to do something stupid. Honestly, that's the only reason most people even pay attention to Donald Trump, is we're just sitting there waiting for him to do something stupid. It's like watching a real-life episode of The Simpsons and you know Homer's going to do something dumb, you just don't know what it is yet. So that's why we watch it. You know, we kind of enjoy it. We enjoy mocking it because unlike Homer Simpson, Donald Trump typically does not learn a valuable life lesson from it, but they're freaking out. They're trying to throw everything they can at this to make the debate go away. But if they back out, they're going to look like the cowards and it's going to hurt them even more. So we don't know what's going to happen. Even Trump himself in his post said, stay tuned. But we do know one thing with absolute confidence. Donald Trump is terrified to get on that debate stage with Kamala Harris, and he is going to try everything within his power to make sure he doesn't have to do it.
One of today's video sponsors is Miracle Made. Did you know that traditional bed sheets can actually harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat? It can lead to acne, allergies, stuffy noses, and it's just plain gross. Miracle Made offers a whole line of self-cleaning antibacterial bedding such as sheets, pillowcases, and comforters that prevent up to 99.7% of bacteria growth and require up to 3 times less laundry. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. Miracle Made uses silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, and their sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, so you get better sleep every night. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands, and they feel as nice, if not nicer, than bed sheets used by some 5-star hotels. And it's designed for your skin. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne, and you can sleep clean with Miracle. Now, I've been using Miracle Made bed sheets for nearly 2 years now, and I absolutely love them. They help keep me cool throughout the night, which means I get better sleep because I'm not waking up all throughout the night from being too hot. So go to trymiracle.com/ROF to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code ROF at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product that it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/ROF and use the code ROF to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/ROF to treat yourself.